To get in the program, you have to have 3 references by a teacher, a preacher, thinks that you're mature enough to handle a trip away from your parents for 20. About how do you feel about going away from your parents, and do you think you can handle this? And then 23 students got picked from Central PA. But the program is all around the world, and they don't just go over to Europe. They go to different places like China, Alaska, different places like that. And it's not just in Pennsylvania; it's all over America. And then each month we had an orientation meeting at a church that they told us like what we were going to be learning during the trip, like what we were going to expect on the trip, what we were going to see, what we were going to learn, you know, because if you go on a trip, it's best to learn a little bit about where you're going so you can appreciate more the experiences that you're going to see. And we learned about the government and the culture, and we had to keep a journal on the trip. And after we got home, we'd have to write a paper to get high school or college credits. And now I'm going to tell you about my trip. We went to England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales for 23 days. First, London. It's a very big, modernized city. Many theaters line the crowded streets, and we went to a couple plays there. One called Starlight Express by Frank Lloyd Wright, and not Frank Lloyd Wright, but what's the name? Andrew Lloyd Webber. Okay, so, and then the other one it's only a play done in Europe called Summer Holiday, and the buildings are beautiful, like Westminster Abbey, Big Ben, the Parliament building. From a faraway distance, it actually looks like they're made of gold. It's so neat. When we took a boat ride down the River Thames, you could see the London Bridge. It's just beautiful. You see some of the pictures that I have from my place. And I just wanted to let you know, no parents went. We only had 2 chaperones, and we went and we had to do all this stuff by ourselves, like clean our own clothes in the sink, which is a very different task. They don't have a lot of like washers and dryers and stuff like that. And we had to fend for ourselves. We had to stay in a hotel room, make sure every single morning we got up at the right time, and we had to have all our clothes ready. They'd have room check, we had to have the bed straightened, we had to have everything neat and tidy, so it wasn't just a totally fun trip, you had to work too. And then, after that, we went to see the crown jewels at the Tower of London. That is such a beautiful thing. It's so neat to see those. It's like totally made out of gold. They have crowns from like hundreds of years back. It's so neat. They have gems, emeralds, rubies, diamonds. And then there was a punch bowl. It was like 5 feet tall, and it was totally made out of gold with like things coming out of the sides of it. And they had a salt shaker. No, just like a regular salt shaker that we think of is, oh, the tiny little thing about that big. They had one about this high, and it was shaped like a castle and made totally out of gold. Because salt back then was a big necessity, and only rich people could afford it. And Wales has the most beautiful countryside. They like Snowdonia National Park, which is many mountains, and like a national wildlife park with deer and birds and other things. And the mountains are so beautiful when the mist from the early fog comes through them. It's so neat to see that. It was like the best thing. And then we had homestay people in Ireland and Wales, and I really got along well with my homestay in Wales, and I'll tell a little bit more about them when I show you my picture. Okay, well, it surprised me that it doesn't cost that much money to afford to own a home over in Wales, because my homestay people didn't even have jobs, and they had a nice house with a big screen TV, all these couches and stuff like that, and that's pretty good for people over there. And in Ireland, it has the most green I've ever seen. They said there's like 40 different shades of green in all, and it's so weird because it's like you're looking up at a hill and you see one patch it's like in a square, and then the other patch it's just all different kinds of green. It's so weird. And then when we were on a jaunty car, which is like a horse-drawn carriage, it was so neat because when we went like through the mountains, and when it would rain for maybe like 20 minutes, well, not 20 minutes, like 2 minutes, and then once it was done, there was like a rainbow come out, and then it would rain again. And I think Scotland is my favorite place that I went to. It has a breathtaking castle, Edinburgh. It was so neat in there. They had the largest cannon. It was like 13 feet. The cannonballs were like about the size of two people's head put together. And then one time they have beautiful waterfalls in New Lanark. It's so neat to see that. And then one time in New Lanark we were eating dinner, and there was something that it looked kind of like little pieces of wheat and stuff in a jar, and we just started taking bites of it, and then the lady walked around and said, "Oh, this is a Scottish tradition, it's called haggis." And if for people who don't know what haggis is, and I ate some of it, it's like sheep, it's boiled in a sheep's stomach. It has sheep heart, sheep brain, sheep bladder, and some other gruesome parts of the sheep. It's not that good. I took if you take tiny bites, that's okay. But I took a spoonful and gagged. It was weird. And what they call pudding over there, it's not like what we would think like chocolate pudding. It tastes like meat. It's really weird. It's like moist bread. That's what it tastes like. It's really disgusting. And okay, now I'm gonna show some pictures from my trip in like order which way I went. Okay, this first picture is our whole group, except for we had some kids from Massachusetts, and this was my group, and that's one of our leaders, Kathy Cohen Spalding. And this is the plane that we took. It was the 777. It was really cool because it had TVs on the back of the seat. Okay, this is the Parliament building, as he said. That's what it looks like. It looks like it's made of gold, and that's Big Ben, largest clock tower. And this next picture, this is from the Tower of London. This is a beefeater, not a beef eater or a beef feeder. It's spelled Beefeeter. So it's really weird. And this right down there is the London Bridge. And the middle, you can't even tell even if you come up close, but there's like a lion, and it was made for Queen Elizabeth. And this next picture, this is St. Paul's Cathedral. It's so beautiful inside. It's like they've got ceilings like 50 feet high. And then the bottom picture, if you recognize it, it's the changing of the guard. Sorry. That's okay. It's the changing of the guard at Buckingham Palace. And I didn't even get to see what it was because there were so many people there. Even though it's like happens every day, people come. A lot of people. I had to raise the camera over the crowd's head, so I didn't even know what the picture was gonna look like until I got home. Okay, this is Bath in England, and the Romans built it a long time ago, and it's got these baths. It's not heated like by man. It's just hot springs, and they would take baths in there, and they said that it would give you healing powers so that you wouldn't get hurt. So if you got like wounded, they would put you in there. And they said it would help, but I don't know. Okay, this is Warwick Castle, and it's in England. That was the last day that we were in England before we left for home, so it was kind of rushed. And it's really huge inside. They got many turrets around that you can walk around. It's really, really nice. Okay, the next picture. This is Princess Diana's garden, and in the background is one of her many houses. And this down here is the longest name of a train station in Wales, and well, in the whole world. It's Llanfair, Will, Gwyn, Gil, Go, Gary, Cy, Rand, Drobe, Land, Tree, Go, Go, Gotch. and it means the Church of Mary in the hollow of the White Hazel near the fierce whirlpool, and the Church of Tilso by the Red Cape. I wouldn't want to write that for a letter. Okay, this next picture. This is my homestay in Wales. This is their father Wayne, and his daughter Samantha, and his son Gavin, and his mom Mary. And Gavin and I really got along, and we still write to each other and call each other. And you can't tell, but up on the pictures there's Marilyn Monroe and James Dean, because they're really into like old movies from America. This is Snowdonia. Snowdonia.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, easy for you to say. Okay. Well, this is in Wales again. Okay. Next picture. This is Conway, Wales, Conway Castle, and it's a beautiful castle. They have pits inside that they would throw prisoners down in. They'd like break their legs and then they'd just leave them down there, and now people just throw trash. Okay, and this is in Scotland. This is Edinburgh Castle, and this guard, they have like these huge like musket semi-automatic. It's awesome. And then you can't really tell, but in the background there's two statues on the wall. That's William Wallace, if you've seen Braveheart, and that's Robert the Bruce. And Scottish guys, they don't wear anything under the kilts. A lot of people in our group found that out a little too firsthand. Okay? That's a pun. This is in Ireland. This is a jaunty car, what I was telling you about. This is like right after it rained. So it was a little bumpy, as you can tell, like the mist from the fog. It's really nice. And this is Christchurch Cathedral in Dublin, Ireland. And it's really, really nice inside. They've got like a crypt in the bottom of it, and it's like forbidden if you touch these statues. And I touched one. Nothing's happened to me yet. Yeah, I did touch them. Okay, this is Edinburgh Castle again. I got this picture because man in kilt, and this is another picture of William Lawson and Robert the Bruce. Okay, and I just wanted to say I loved all my experiences over in Europe. I know that I will go back someday soon with my parents, of course. All the people over there are really, really nice, and just like my homestay families, everybody is like really, really cool over there. In 23 days, you can learn a lot, see a lot, and experience a lot. And I know that I'll have this in my mind for the rest of my days. Okay, it's hard to believe that our ancestors fought over there for their freedom. Long times ago, they died for like just to win a little piece of freedom that really didn't get them much. And their religion is a lot like ours, other than they have a lot more churches and cathedrals, and they have a lot more architectural things than we do, and we take that for granted if we have one. Oh yeah, there's ours, and then they have like 20 down the street. And so the thing I learned the most was that every person from any place, if you're in America or in another country or across the seas, that everybody can get together and we can all learn from each other. And the thing I really loved was that I have heritage from all three of those places. In Scotland, I'm a Campbell, Clan Campbell, if any of you know that. And I just want to say I want to thank all my sponsors listed here for helping make my trip as student ambassador possible, because without them they really helped, and because the trip was about $4,000, but it was really worth it. For 23 days they covered everything that we saw and did. And if anybody is interested in finding out more about People to People, because they're having another trip soon, and it's going to be to somewhere in Sweden. I think it's Sweden and some other places. And I have a sign-up sheet, and we will forward you information of them. And there is also some pamphlets and my scrapbook to look at when you're done. Thank you very much. Okay, we'll be back at the patio.